stars set up the earliest chances. This one being hit flush across the face of goal, but then the goal finally came. Ugobi staying on her feet, managed to get the pass back to Unumunu, who delivered a delightful ball that Ajibade, who stayed on side, was able to send home, crushing Cameroon's defence and crushing this.
Lagos-born and bred Rasheedat Ajibade, showing them how to do it, how to be very clinical, keeping a cool mind at a crucial time. And that was all that mattered as the Super Falcons went on to win by that lone goal. Hello there, welcome to Ultimate Soccer Experience. So we discuss football, more football, and of course everything football with a special bias to what happens in Nigeria and then Africa, because we need to develop our game. And should there be time, we'll just delve into a thing or two that happen out there in Europe. Today on the program, like I said, we're going to focus on the Super Falcons, then on the league, because this is the business and the final stretch. This weekend is the last match, match day 38. We know who's won the league. We know those that have qualified for the CAF Champions League. But the last spot is available, as well as some relegation spots for who can run away from and who cannot run. I'm not here to do it alone. I've got Aiko Jokere to discuss his own views about the Super Falcons, especially Rasheedat Ajibade and her progression in football. Uche?
Thanks, Mike, and always nice being here. I mean, it's nice to see Rasheedat score, especially when Oshoala is not available. It really shows that she can do the job, she can step up. I mean, the link between the two both started from the same source, FC Robo in Lagos. Oshoala went to Rivers United. Rasheedat, on the other hand, moved to Europe from Robo. So it shows the hard work she has also put into her job from the Scandinavia. She moved to Atletico Madrid, and I mean, even there she's shown that she can play at that level. So no surprise, you come to this kind of competition, you want to show. I mean, people see you as a top class player. You need to prove that you're a top class player, and that she has been able to do. That was a sumptuous header.
That's it for me. You see, a lot of people are big players by name. Then when it comes to the crunch, they sort of freeze into their cocoon, into their shell. But you need to see the ease, the confidence with which Rasheedat plays the game. That's her third goal, and she's made about 2 other goals in this competition. I mean, finally, perhaps we're having somebody that will take over from the likes of Mercy Akide, Perpetual Onkocha, and, and Asisat Oshoala in Rasheedat Ajibade.
Yeah, again, it shows perhaps something good that we've been doing in the age grade teams. Yeah. Because she's also a player who has also moved through
on the 17, on the 20,
and now the national team. At some point, she was under the shadows of Asisat. Yeah. Now that chance is coming out, and she's utilizing it well. She has proved that. I mean, no thanks to the injury, but then someone has to do the job.
That make the best use of any opportunity, and that's one that came up, and she's made good use of it.
Yeah, she's made good use of it. So she's not just scoring; she's also making goals, and that's what you expect from a team player and somebody who is playing a big role in a team. That role she's fitting in properly.
She's fitted in now, and for you to win a competition, it's often said that you need a very good goalkeeper. What have you got to say about our own goalkeeper, Nnadozie Chiamaka? This is another girl too that played at the junior level, the 20, and today she was voted the 3rd best goalkeeper in the French league. Now this is a league where you have Olympique Lyonnais team, that's the European champions. You have the PSG women team, also very good. It speaks volumes about the development too of Chiamaka. And of course, the first match the Super Falcons, she wasn't there. But ever since she's come in, she's not considered a goal.
Yeah, she's not considered a goal. That shows again how much, like you said, how much she's put into her game, where she's coming from, her standard now. I mean, I'm sure that in a few years from now, we expect she'll move also to Spain, where Spain seems to be the
mecca, so to say, now
of female football. So I expect she will do that, or perhaps move to a bigger team in the French league.
Yeah, the French like PSG. Or now, one funny aspect happened in the match that the Super Falcons won against Cameroon. The Cameroonian goalkeeper plays her league football in Nigeria for Bayelsa Queens, who are of course the female champions of the league here. And she was very dexterous yesterday. For me, that was a very good advert for Nigerian female football, because she was arguably one of their best, if not the best player on the part of Cameroon in that game. It says much about our league, even though there was also Gabriel, who plays in our league, of course, but for Rivers Angels, and that played for Cameroon yesterday.
Yeah, the league might have some challenges, but then overall, especially in the West African region, down south, south of the Sahara, our league clearly is the place to be. So no surprise. At some point, I mean, there were more Cameroonian players playing in the league then when in the days of Pelican Stars. Pelican has disappeared.
Bernadette Anong comes to mind. Who was the Cameroonian national team captain?
So now, I mean, playing against Cameroon and two players who play in Nigeria playing for that same Cameroonian side against Nigeria, and again, the performance of the players clearly shows that if you to begin to do right, we just need to get it properly, and of course, it will just be the Moroccans will not leave us, but then we need to fix the league properly so that we get. But the more players you can get, that having those two players play for Cameroon clearly is a big advertisement for the Nigerian league.
Very big. This was the only goal that beat, and of course that goal was sort of superb. You know, the way Rashida chose her angle and plumped it into the far corner. But apart from that, no, look, on our part, those were some highs. On our part, I think among the lows on our part was our big striker, Onumonu. She seemed out of depth with that level. I wished we had the likes of Okpara Nozie, Desire here, and not the fact that she couldn't travel to come and play this competition due to what's happening out there in China, and because she wasn't permitted to come. But perhaps if we had a more experienced person like her, she's shown promise, but she was out of depth. Same for Alozie, the defender. That's to tell you that it's not everybody that plays in Europe that comes here and fit. Unlike Ashley Plumtree, who was a marvel to watch.
Yeah, well, that's the point I've always made. It's not everybody. We sometimes we just think it because you're out there. Players who play here, are just pushed aside. It's a big no. And we've seen it. I mean, the World Cup, now we've qualified for the World Cup, but then it's obvious that some players are not fitting in there. And the question is, did we give like I always say, did we give the right opportunity for those who play here? The answer is no, and it's unfair that we just close the door for certain players, and for others, because we think they are in certain places, we break the door and let them in. But again, this is a leveler. It has shown that they can't fit him.
Because in my opinion, she struggled throughout yesterday. Now they've qualified, of course, for the World Cup, but then they still have the La Decima to chase, and their next obstacle happens to be host nation Morocco. And we've witnessed how this team, apart from South Africa, has played the most fluid football, in my opinion, at this tournament. They are very good at set pieces, at dead balls. Your take about Super Falcons versus these very dangerous Moroccans, a team that has never beaten the Super Falcons.
Yeah, you look at the history, and now things have changed. It is what it is now. So we really have to go in and show that we can beat them. But then you're playing the host. If we overcome Morocco, then they still obviously somehow
South Africa locking in
again to meet. The round two, so to say. But then we have to settle Morocco. And of course, the Moroccan team is a team that has evolved over time. They've got a fantastic coach.
Yeah, Reynald Pedros has really put his take on that.
In terms of coaching, they could just be better than us, because some persons not too happy too with what Waldrum is putting out. But then you look at the Moroccan team. Over time, they have grown. They've worked hard. They chose to host the tournament because they were prepared for what they're going to put in, and now we're seeing all that. They've also qualified for the World Cup, and so playing against Cameroon, then there should be marginal errors. Otherwise, of course, dead balls, they are good in that.
Very good dead balls, especially Chebak.
Yeah, and they are fast on the ball. They're fast on the ball. So if you play in the team, we've got our defenders could be suspect sometimes. We've seen it.
The speed of Onome, is suspect.
And now you're playing the team. We're going to have a lot of fast players, and of course they have a very sound coach. We need to be at our best on that day.
Needing to be our best. That's what I think the South Africans were in their first match when they beat the Super Falcons. But ever since then, they've not been flying at that normal, dimension that they did. Perhaps it has to do with the injury to their best player, Thembi Gatlana. She got, a tendon injury, which means that she's not going to play for the next 3 months. Now that's a big gap. That's a big dent in their team. It's kind of slowed them down, but they still managed to beat Tunisia by 1-0. They are still, in my opinion, favourites for this trophy. Your take?
Of course, they're beating us. That's the last result and the latest result to judge both sides. So clearly, they're the team favoured to win the tournament. As it is now, before the tournament, we were favoured, but we lost to them. So it means we have to go there. If we overcome.
Morocco.
There's still the Moroccan obstacle.
Yeah, in the semi-finals.
We even think of
the finals.
The finals.
Well, here's wishing them all the best of luck. There are a lot of bright spots in our team, but then some not too bright spots. Let's work on all of this and see how we'll take it. We go on break now. And on break, we show you that match again between the Super Falcons and the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon. We'll come back and talk about the almighty week 38 of the MPFL. All of that after this time out.
Well, Nigeria had represented Africa at all 8 editions of the FIFA Women's World Cup as they met Cameroon Only one place at the FIFA Women's World Cup existed for the winner of this tie. Cameroon and Nigeria got underway with Nigeria on the front foot, looking for the early goal as well. And they tested Ange Bowu in the Cameroon goal early. Decent-looking floated ball into a danger area that Unamuno was able to get a head on the end of, but unable to put on target. And then Nigeria had further efforts at goal. Uchebe able to unleash an effort from midfield. Nigeria continued to attack in the opening half. Estelle Johnson's misclearance fell for Odega, and then the follow-up hit by Ayinde from a long way out, sliced off the side of her boot. Nigeria certainly in the ascendancy in the opening half. The second half got underway with Nigeria increasing their intensity on the Cameroon defence. And ultimately, it was Okobi who was among the stars who set up the earliest chances. This one being hit flush across the face of goal, but then the goal finally came. Okobi staying on her feet, managed to get the pass back to Unamuno, who delivered a delightful ball that Ajibade, who stayed onside, was able to send home, crushing Cameroon's defence and crushing the spirits of their opponents. Ajibade with their third goal of the tournament, a joint leading goal scorer. Final whistle.
We got to take our commercial before we continue. George Wood.
And we are back. It's Dangote Bag of Goodies Season 3. Yes, spell Dangote and become a multi-millionaire. Category 1, pick up the scratch card in bags of Dangote cement and win instantly. Category 2, pick up the scratch cards in bags of Dangote cement to spell DANGOTE and qualify to win =1 million star prize. Category 3, pick up the scratch cards in bags of Dangote cement to spell DANGOTE and qualify to win =5 million mega star prize. When you pick an alphabet with an eagle, one of the alphabets must carry the Dangote Eagle logo for you to win the mega star prize. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're still on to Ultimate Soccer Experience. So we discuss football and everything football, this time the MPFL. Now, this is the crunch. When last have you heard about Dakada going all the way to Aba to beat Enyimba? Not just by a lone goal, or by 2 goals to nothing. Allow OJ to take on the rest of the story, because for me, it was sure one of the surprises of match day 37.
Well, it happens in football, especially at times like this. And so Dakada needed to get something from that game, at least to boost survival.
Their chances of survival.
And they went to Amman and they got the job done. Got the points. It doesn't happen all the time.
They got the points, not a point. They got the points.
Got the points, yeah. They won. They won 2-0. So they got
That is
the
it.
points.
For me, not just 1-0, but 2 against Enyimba.
Yeah.
Did Enyimba go to sleep? Considering the reputation, the last time Dakada, I can't recollect Dakada winning an away match.
If your house is on fire, Mike, you
Take desperate measures.
That's what he did.
Well, congratulations to Dakada, who took desperate measures there and a 2-0 win. They are not the only team. Once mighty Kano Pillars are no longer, it's just Kano now. I cannot see, it's Kano Pillar now. I cannot see them. They lost 0-1 to Nasarawa in a match played at the Zaria Road Stadium in Jos against Nasarawa United, and King Osanga scored the only goal.
Yeah, for a long time I felt this this pillars is actually pillar, not pillars, for this particular season.
Okay.
And I've been vindicated somehow. It's been a season of struggles and ups and downs of too many while, 1 week, one trouble. A season we want to forget in a hurry. But then they have to settle the issue which is up against them now, and that's relegation. They're playing Shooting Stars on the last day of the season. Even if they score 50 goals, I still don't know if they'll say.
No, but don't you think it depends on the table, league table you're talking about? In every league table I've seen, Kano Pillars is on 42 points. But in the LMC league table, Kano Pillars is on 45. And should they beat 3SC like they are bound to do this weekend in Kano? Should the match even have been played in Kano? Considering the antecedents earlier this season against Katsina, not talk of what happened against Dakada.
Well, despite all the drama, I'll stick with the 45. Pillars will end at 48 and begin to pray for results from other centers.
Well, let's see them get.
I mean, their faith hangs elsewhere.
Let's see how all of that will hang, because they did get to beat 3-0 in a very, very difficult week. But then all those things so happen. What you have there is a penalty. Home team Enyimba there, that was Rangers against Enyimba, getting a penalty goal there, and all the team have to celebrate. Welcome this weekend, like we're talking, lots of important matches. Kano Pillars against 3SC. You said they will do everything they do. And 3SC have to be on their toes. Should they not get the result they want, 3SC could go on relegation just after one season.
Again, it's sad that with all the work done at Shooting Stars, everything again is hanging on the 90 minutes. And again, I don't see how they will get a point.
I don't envy Edith Agoye. He's putting a lot of, alongside Alausa, they put in a lot of effort in this.
I mean, I can confidently say that Edith might not be the one in charge if they go down.
It's sad considering first that was another team that started this season on the wrong note, firing about 17 players. That Bruhaha was simply too much. A team that's consistently hovered around 5 goalkeepers during the season. That's not.
And they were not just organized in the course of the season too. They had to chase a journalist, a colleague and a friend around the stadium.
Luckily, the police were there to rescue him.
Not the kind of thing you expect for a team. I mean, a team like Shooting Stars
with massive followership.
It pains me that Shooting Stars should be at the level of Zamalek and Al Ahly.
Yeah.
But sadly, it's that's become a yo-yo team.
It's sad. And we'll get to another team that was down, that's just come up for next season. Hopefully, those ones will have learned 3 lessons. But still, even though Dakar went to Aba to surprise themselves, not just only me, by that 2-0 victory, they still have it all to do this weekend against Sunshine. Luckily, Sunshine haven't got anything at stake. So Dakar might just easily, earn 3 points.
Yeah, but Sunshine won't go there to play football. I mean, they've had a decent season with them. Dejani setting the team up perfectly. Deji left for Aqua. Emmanuel Dodge came in, of course, continuing from where Deji started. And it's been a decent season for Sunshine Stars. No drama. They've got the results. And you expect that even when they played away from home, they've got results. So you expect that they want to end the season on a high.
Another team that also want to end the season on a high will be Kwara United, because they want to if possible, Remo for the last continental position, league standing, that's 3rd position. But Remo seem to have tied that to themselves. But they still have to go all the way to play Heartland. Heartland is another yo-yo team that needs all the points. Hopefully that something might just happen. But it's not looking good for Heartland.
No, it's done and dusted for Heartland. They should be thinking of life in the lower division. There's no magic that Heartland can do. And so Kwara will go there with hope that they can get something out of it. They've played, again, another team that has played good football, but always unlucky. Sorry. Last season was the same thing. They
started like a house on fire last season, and we thought, of course, but they fizzled out.
They got in Lokosa this season. It cost some good goals for them. But then,
just like Samad Kadri, who scored about 10 too.
Yeah, Samad will always give you double digits anyway. But then Remo will play at home. Remo too are coming from that big away win over Sunshine Stars. For Remo again, their chance to go to the continent. I mean, Remo reminds me of the days of NMB,
New Nigerian Bank,
Flash, 11Ts, all coming to the top flight and doing wonders. So finishing 3rd, honestly, would be a very...
It will be massive. For Ogumbote came in, being an oracle like they call him. He saw what was going to happen, knew that, listen, these kids need some boosting. And we will need some experienced players, especially in the second stanza. He went and got Sikiru, and Sikiru was like a game changer.
Yeah, but again, for him, more credit to Daniel Ogumbote, the young man who more led the team last season. Got them back, had to go to Portugal to join the parent team. But then give it to Benga, work with the young guys. I mean, you look at the captain, fantastic young man, Unduka Jr.
It's a set-piece expert, so to say.
Yeah. Samuel Anakwe. Then bringing in Sikiru Alimi in the attack. Dayo joined the midfield. I mean, that again, when you have Dayo simply showed...
That guarantees some goals for midfield.
Yeah, he just justified why he said he was leaving... He left Enyimba for a project.
And he's delivered, because when you really needed him, he came. Look at the all-important goal he scored, away last weekend. Shows what experience could do to a team. They haven't discussed all of that one. For me, let's talk about Insurance, a favorite of many other followers. They managed to qualify. This time, with a big gap, but the quality of their football is somewhat suspect. Now they qualified. What are the lessons that you think Bendel Insurance should learn? Some funny ungets say, listen, Bendel no longer exists. Why don't they call them Benin Insurance? The trademark name, Bendel Insurance.
Yeah, that's a brand. That's the history, tradition, the heritage, Bendel Insurance.
So you just can't throw it away.
You can't throw it away. I mean, it still exists in the minds of people. That's the emotional connection to the brand. Bendel Insurance, people that same Bendel? And so the answer is yes. So that's the connection, and I think it should just remain as Bendel Insurance. And so credit to Bendel Insurance, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Honorable Philip Shaibu.
A project he really put his mind on.
Put his mind to it, supported the team, walked it all. They missed it narrowly last time. This time around, of course, no playoff, it's automatic ticket, they got it, but then the work starts now. I mean, truth be told, the level of football played at the MPFL and NNL.
So world difference apart.
Yeah, so you're coming to a new class. It's like a fresh beginning. And how do you survive when you're coming to a fresh beginning? The experience the last time wasn't too good. They must get it right this time around. They must get it from the kickoff. I mean, Remo has come to show that
it's doable.
It's doable, yeah, it's doable. So perhaps I'm studying the Remo
example,
the Remo
template.
The Remo template will help Bendel Insurance.
Well, here's wishing them all the best of luck as they've managed to succumb many obstacles to qualify. We go on break, and on break we show you a friendly match between Manchester United and Liverpool. We come back and round of the program with transfers. One of Nigeria's best talents, Joseph Aribo, has found his way southwards from Scotland to Southampton in England.
Dominated by Liverpool. 2 emphatic wins, but of course now
it's Mabaya against Luke Shaw. He goes on the outside, drills a dangerous ball in. Got Sancho to his right, and Jadon Sancho one-on-one. Nice footwork. Sancho, Fred is there.
And you don't want to oversell yourself.
Gomez, sorry, one-on-one, he's so dangerous when he cuts in. Diaz, good save, David De Gea to his left. You know what he's going to do, Diaz, but it
blighted by injuries.
Chambers, nice ball in. Gomez, Bruno Fernandes, chips it just above Martial, and then 1-0 United. Sancho pulls the trigger, finds the net, and that's United's first goal in pre-season. High up the field, this time Rashford looking for Martial. Rashford! Carvalho, Diaz shoots! Wow. Now, Sancho has it back. Martial waits. Rashford at the far post. Marcus Rashford! Fernandes, great skill, tried to stripped Martial. And now Fred, the little clip. Oh, fantastic! Brazilian brilliance from Fred. He brings the Rajamappa to his left. He might not need him. Martial! What a finish! That's what he can do. Anthony Martial with the run and the delightful chip. He just loves it against Liverpool. Anthony Martial at his best there. 3 is out. And it's clipped across. And Bailly will... It's down to Nunez. Driven wide. Nunez pushed away. Then it's Amat. Pellistri! What a goal that is! Length of the field stuff. Pellistri makes it 4. And this young Manchester United second half side with a memorable strike. Arnold does take straight into the wall, and United manager.
I'll take this on the 22nd.
Very, very dangerous, and Salah has it again. Goes for the corner this time, off the post, and Nunez into the crowd. Mo Salah, that is what he can do from nowhere, really. Bent it.
Yes, so we don't come again. Dangote Bag of Goodies Season 3 don't show. Yes, so spell Dangote sharp make you become millionaire. Category 1, Alele pick scratch card inside bag of Dangote cement and win straight. Category 2, pick scratch card inside Dangote cement bag. Take use and spell DANGOTE. Make you stand chance to win 1 million naira star prize. Category 3, pick scratch card inside Dangote cement. Take and spell DANGOTE. Make you stand chance to win 5 million naira mega star prize. If one alphabet carry Dangote ego picture for body, make sure say one alphabet gets Dangote ego picture on top am for you to win the mega star prize. Terms and conditions dey sao.
Welcome back. It's the Ultimate Soccer Experience. And now on to transfers. One of Nigeria's finest players in recent time has been Joseph Ayodele Aribo. He's left Scotland. Now, not many people leave England for Scotland, eventually to come back to a bigger club. But he's come back to Southampton, a club that has been the springboard for people like Mane, Van Dijk, Walcott, Chamberlain, and the rest of them. So perhaps he's on the right track, perhaps.
Oh, certainly, of course, Mike. This is the right track. I mean, for someone who played lower division football in England at Charlton, had to go to Scotland to hit the limelight, and of course, hug the headlines. No surprise, Now he's now back, joining a bigger team. But then a bigger team, but there's a big job ahead. When the Premier League begins next month, he needs to start. He needs to be. You get into a new club. You want to show why you got to the final of in Europe. So you expect to be a starter in the team, and so he needs to work. The work begins now.
That final has proved to be a turning point. One of the best players on that day was Calvin, Bassi. And now Ajax is already saying, listen, since Lisandro Lopez is going to Manchester United, we might need Calvin, who can play on the left side and the middle. So their sojourn in Scotland has really paid. Another Nigerian footballer, a crafty midfielder, this time has left Russia. No thanks to the war between Russia and Ukraine for Hertha Berlin. We're talking of Eduque, however, on loan.
Yeah, nice one for him. Anyone plays football in that part of the world certainly will not be playing with his right mind whenever he's on the pitch, even off the pitch. So nice one that has got to Germany. A good place for him. Just like the Bundesliga replacing Aouni has moved, and then Nigerian coming in, which is good for us and good for the national team too. So that's a nice move for him, certainly.
Final word on the program.
Final word, can't wait for the last day of the NPFL. Who goes who comes third?
We already know who is the winner. So Port Harcourt is the place to be this weekend.
Sure.
Fanfare.
The fanfare begins.
It's always started. So wherever you are, go to a venue near you. But for OG and I, Port Harcourt seems to be it. Because that's where Rivers United, who've been champions, are going to celebrate in a very massive way. And congratulations to them. They led the table for over 20-something weeks out of the 37 weeks we've witnessed so far. So it's congrats to them. That's how we draw a curtain on the program. OG and I have had a fantastic time discussing football, most especially in Nigeria and Africa. Same time, same station. Let's do it again. If you can next week, is bye-bye from all of us over here.